Hello, and much love to anyone that clicked on the video. For those that don't know me, my name is Lightning Hearts, and today I have a basic guides video on one of the newest entry characters in Knife and Birth 2, TSURUGI. And I'm making this guides video because I don't see anyone really talking about TSURUGI. I think this character is extremely slept on, and hopefully in this video I share some light on why he's so strong, why you should use and abuse a lot of the dumb shit that he has, and overall just have fun with the character, right? But in this video I'm going to be covering a lot of the things that make this character strong, what you should do, his strategies, and so on and so forth. If you like the video, make sure you hit the like button, comment down below on how you feel about TSURUGI as a whole, and if you really like my content, subscribe to the channel. But that being said, let's talk about TSURUGI as a whole. Let's break this character down before I actually talk about his kit as a whole. Before I get into this video, I just want to hit y'all with one disclaimer. I am not going to be covering combos in this video, unfortunately. The one things I'm going to be talking about the most is his normals, is his special, his force function, and overall gameplay and strategies, and weaknesses that you might see in certain matchups, right? But the only reason why I'm not going to be covering combos in this guide is because mission mode does a very good job at teaching you, or probably someone that already knows how to play Under Night, new players and old players, cool shit. So please hop into the mission mode and learn some practical combos. Okay, let's talk about TSURUGI, people. TSURUGI, his archetype is ultimately a rushdown character. I would go as far as to say TSURUGI is probably the best rushdown character in the game because of this mechanic alone, force function. His force function is his shield, right? Why Lightning Hearts is he the best rushdown character, or why is his shield so strong? Let me not tell y'all, let me showcase this to y'all. This shield goes through everything in the entire game. Nothing that is ideally a high or a mid can break TSURUGI out of this stance. The only thing that gets TSURUGI out this stance is literally lows and grabs. Now, for people that don't know why this is so strong after I showcase this to y'all, let me go in depth with what I mean. Again, TSURUGI is mainly a rushdown character. A rushdown's objective is basically to get in on your opponent, right? When you have something like this, especially since you can move forward with it, and there's options outside of the stance that he has basically three options: slide, jump, and basically bash, right? This character can basically bulldozer you in the neutral, get you in the corner, and actually mix you up. This character is extremely, extremely, extremely strong. And the fact that the only interactions that you can do to get him out of stance is a grab, which a grab can't be that dangerous depending on where you at in the screen. And if we're talking about specific characters that can combo off their grab, that's not really a good reward for certain characters, right? Especially since certain characters' grabs throw him back into neutral, which he doesn't care about. The low is a problem. Wagner's one of TSURUGI's, I guess, annoying matchup because she has a dash 66L, which is a low, right? But again, you have counterplay with this. But hopefully this breakdown made you kind of understand why I feel TSURUGI so strong. But let me stop boring you with this character overview. Let's actually get into the meat and potatoes of this character, which are, I guess, his normals, his specials, and what you should do as FF, right? Let's talk about his normals. TSURUGI's normals. The normals I'm mostly going to be covering with this character are 5C, 2C, 6C, J2C charge, as well as the regular version, his anti-air, as well as his goated A normals, right? Let's talk about 5C. 5C is TSURUGI's further longest reaching standing normal outside of his entire kit, and maybe 6C. Maybe 6C. Kinda, right? But why do we like 5C? 5C is a great poking normal. It's kind of slow, but the recovery it's not too bad. It gets the job done, right? But his 5C range is the same range as Wagner's 5C. Let me showcase this to y'all. Y'all see how far her shit reaches? Tsurugi is ideally the same way. A little bit lower or a little bit shorter, but still good. And Wagner got a godlike 5C. So imagine this character with all the bullshit I just said before. So yeah, it's overall a great reaching C normal, right? The main reason why we like using 5C in the neutral, like I said, is his far reaching poke. But on counter hit, you can combo into 214. Let me see if I can record this, right? I'm gonna set Wagner to do dash C so I can showcase an example, right? Like I said earlier, Tsurugi gets counter hit by Lowe's when he's in FF, right? But since we have a god like normal like 5C, we can smoke this dumb shit. Let me showcase this to y'all. You see what I mean? 5C stops it. Like legit. Like it's so, and it's kind of active too. So you can kind of whiff it out a little bit late and you can still get the, you see? She didn't even do anything yet. Like it's kind of active. It's slow, but it's really, really active, right? 5C is your goated long range reaching normal. And since Tsurugi has a 5 frame 2A, you doing this in a neutral is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Are you doing this in block strings? Because the range is so good, right? Another thing that I want to mention with y'all with 5C is the fact that, again, if you're able to hit confirm on reaction to counter hit, you are guaranteed a 4K damage combo as well as the corner carry. So Tsurugi gets high damage, a corner carry, and he can basically mix you up once he's in the corner, right? So again, 5C, goated normal. The next normal I want to talk about is his 2C. 2C links into 5C almost 90% of the time. They ideally almost have the same range, except 2C is slightly shorter than 5C. But again, that's not an issue because we have 2C charge, which makes up for that lack of reach sometimes, right? So if you're not sure that 2C will connect, you can go with charge 2C. Because charge 2C, I think in some instances, is a lot further reaching than 5C, right? So look, 5C max range, 2C charge, I'm still connect. These two moves for my Tsurugi mains always chain into 5C, 2C, and to 2A whiff. And now you can basically keep this space and do it all over again. The best thing about 2C, once you fully charge it, is that it actually has a guard point or armor behind it, right? When you fully charge 2C, this actually has armor. So let me showcase this for y'all. This is going to be hard to show, but I'm going to try my best. I'm going to set Wagner to do dash C, right? Since it's a low. Let's see if I can times this right. Alright, so she's going to do a little walk. Actually, let me do it one more time. We're going to do it that way, right? Y'all see that? It actually has armor. Let me showcase it still one more time. 2C fully charged actually has armor. And of course, it's a counter hit if people actually get hit into it. Let me see. Let me show y'all. And you get a combo. Like I said, as well as the corner carry and as well as your high damage, right? So again, for my Tsurugi mains, always link it to 5C and to 2C because they ideally have the same range, especially if you charge 2C. And since it has armor, you don't gotta worry about people jabbing you back with 2A or jabbing you back with 2B. Because now that you're at a range where certain characters 2B shouldn't realistically connect with you, now you have counterplay, right? Really go to normal. Next normal I want to talk about with Tsurugi is his 3C, which is his anti-air normal. Very self-explanatory. I'm not gonna get too in-depth with it, but the great thing about Tsurugi's 3C is that it's actually pretty viable in combos, as well as, again, a very reliable anti-air. Let me see. Actually, let me just put Wagner to jump. Right? There we go. Alright. Mainly used for punishing assaults. or someone trying to jump above the rim. But again, 3C is really, really good at combos. You actually want to do 3C in combos because that's where a lot of his big damage comes from. And it doesn't really affect the damage scaling like that, right? So 3C, very self-explanatory. Hits anti-air normal, but you also want to use it for combos because it doesn't really affect the damage scaling that much. And again, is really good for block strings too. Let's put Wagner to guard all. Really, really good, right? The next thing I want to talk about is TSURUGI'S charge 2C, J2C, right? When you do 2C by itself, J2C, he doesn't get the slide follow-up, right? But the best thing that people don't really mention with TSURUGI is that once you're able to do charge J2C, you can actually go into force function, right? You can't do that when you do regular J2C. J2C by itself, I'm mashing. Let me show the inputs. Delay. Let me show the input delay for y'all, right? I don't know if y'all can see it. Let me see. Delay, no. Input history. There we go. Like, watch. I'm spamming it. I can't do it. I can't use FF after I do J2C. But when I fully charge J2C, I can get into FF. So ideally, you can do this twice. You can do J2C, FF, into 2C again. A lot of people didn't know that. Or even if they did, I don't think a lot of them really shared it. So you can do J2C, FF, back up, J2C, it's a slide again to kind of get a mix up, right? So, for people that don't know, J2C is really good, but it's punishable on shield. Let me set Wagner to shield, just to showcase. If people shield this normal, right? I can't special cancel, I can't go into FF, I can't do anything. This string is completely punishable if people shield this. So again, what's the mind game, Lightning Hearts? The mind game is that if they shield it incorrectly or they think you're going to do the charge version, if you do J2C by itself, you're safe, right? On shield. But again, if they shield it at the wrong time, you can be as much as plus 13 in people's faces. So let me see if I can showcase this to y'all. You see? I don't know if y'all can see the screen right here, this little number. If people miss-shield this, thinking that they're going to go for the charge 2C version, thinking you're going to go for the charge J2C version, you are plus 13 in their face. So ideally, you can throw them and get a grid break. You see? They can't do nothing. They actually have to hold that. The only thing they could probably do is guard thrust, but that's very resource dependent. So again, for my TSURUGI players, have a mind game with J2C. And again, for those that didn't know either, J2C charge has armor behind it. So ideally, people can't anti-air you, right? It's going to be very hard to showcase this, but please take my word for it. This J2C charge has armor. If you're in the animation, it's very hard for them to anti-air you. I don't even think they can really DP you. But again, I might be wrong. But this move actually has armor behind it. So please, for the people watching this, mix up J2C charge with regular. So you can throw people off, be 13 in their faces, as well as get the grip break, right? The next normals I want to talk about is his 6C. TSURUGI 6C is his overhead, the charge version. He has a charge version of 6C, but honestly, it just makes it more safe on block. I don't think it adds any sort of reduced damage scaling, any of that, but it's his overhead. So normally, you would mix up 5C, 2C into 6C. So you do something like, let me take off a shield. 5C, 2C, 6C overhead, right? Or 5C, 2C overhead. You can link back into the C normals and really mix up your opponent. On top of him having great frame data. So this is safe if you fully charge it. And if you don't charge it, it's -7, but again, it's special cancelable. So again, there's no risk for you really using the overhead outside of its slow startup. But since you have other normals that can cover that, that's fine, right? Self-explanatory. It's its overhead. I guess the normals I really want to go in depth with, I guess, is his dash normals. 6-6B is really good for checking people that kind of want to jump back. So again, let me see if I can showcase to y'all, or just people that think that overhead's coming. This is a very good, like, no, you're not doing anything. It's really, really good. And you can hit confirm into 214. You can hit confirm into 236. You can hit confirm into light DP, right? Dash B or 6-6B, really, really good at trying to close in on your opponent and thinking that your opponent is going to actually wake up with something or try to wake up with a backdash. This actually chases that option, right? 6-6C, however, high crushes, I think, lows. So if people are going to wake up with like a low kick, right? Let me set Wagner to, let me set Wagner to like do this, right? Let's see. This actually high crushes lows, or this low crushes basically, right? So if someone's waking up, let's say 2C, dash C covers that shit. And you can get a combo. Well, even though I was a shit combo, you know what I mean, right? Dash C as well as dash B are really good get-in tools that can overall keep yourself safe and still mix up your opponent once you're at that appropriate range, right? Are there any normals I missed in terms of Tsurugi? I cover his 5C, his 2C, 5A, 2A, his overhead, his J normals. I guess the one normal I could really cover is his J6C, which is probably the one normal you're going to go for in terms of just getting in the corner. So you do like a really simple air-to-air combo. So let's say, for example, you're a beginner watching this guy, obviously. You want to do 2C into 5C, 6C to send your opponent flying, follow up with a run, and basically do it again, right? 6C is your basic, yo, I want to put you in the corner, or I want to get the corner carry as quick as possible. For easy damage is overall easy conversion, right? J6C, very self-explanatory. And I think on shield is very much plus on block too. So let's put him to all guard. It's +8 on block. This is +6. J2C is -4. So J6C is probably your most, I don't want to say advantageous normal on assault, but it's really, really good depending on the range, right? You can be +10, people can't do none. And again, great corner carry combo route, right? But that's it with Tsurugi's normals. Let me talk about his specials now. Tsurugi, when I tell you his specials are really, 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 really good, and the fact that he is Tsurugi in of itself is a very simplistic character. I don't want y'all to get confused. He is not complicated whatsoever. He is a very, very simple character. He only really has, I think, about 3 supers, which is 236, which is this, 236A follow-up, which is slam down, which is safe on block, as well as 236B follow-up. Give me 1 second. There we go. As well as 236B follow-up, right? Which is an overhead, which is really nice. And he also has this too. This move, which again, like the 2 normal or 2C and J2C, this normal has armor behind it. So when you're doing, let's say, Tsurugi slide, and they don't block it, or you let him float back a little bit, you can actually continue with J236, right? Or trade 236B. But it all depends on the timing. Let me see if I can showcase. Yep, there we go. It all depends on the timing, right? But that move has normal. But And what else? Oh yeah, his J236 normals. Right. These specials are really, really good for just mixing up your opponent and confusing them, right? What I don't see a lot of Tsurugi players doing, that hopefully I can kind of give y'all a new light in terms of his mix-up department, is the fact that I don't see people canceling into FF once they do initial 236A. Again, what makes Tsurugi extremely strong is the fact that he is very mix-up heavy, or very random on how you want to read him, right? So if you do J, or if you do 236, excuse me, into a follow-up, you can shield after to see what they're going to do on that initial reaction, because to them your turn is over, right? But let's say, for example, right, Wagner does, let's say she does like 5B, right? Let me see if I can find it. It's somewhere around here. Let's say Wagner does 5B for y'all. 236 follow up. You see, it's safe. And now you can punish them. You see what I mean? Tsurugi has such in-depth, like the way he can mix your opponent up depending on how you want to interact with your opponent makes him arguably one of the strongest rushdown characters in the game. Just because he has that option. Mind you, you can go into FF either on the first initial hit of 236. You can go into the first hit, or you can follow up and check your opponent, right? Again, he has an overhead off of 236, which if people are mashing can probably get you messed up. Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, it could probably get you messed up if people are mashing. But again, just to showcase this to y'all, 236B follow-up is an overhead, and with any EX cancel, you're plus on block. So there's no inherent risk for you going for the overhead with Tsurugi. You ideally want to go for Tsurugi's overhead when you have resources. So when you have obviously 100 meters, or as you can see the blue or around Tsurugi's body, Vorpal, that's the only time for my Tsurugi mains where you should ideally go for overhead to catch your opponents off guard. Tsurugi has a very, very good frames. Like his frame data is actually criminal if you actually know what you're doing with him, right? But those are his 236 normals. What else does he have? He has a DP. Really good. His BDP has invincibility. Self-explanatory. The one thing I don't see players doing is comboing into ADP. You can actually combo into ADP for people that don't know. So he's kind of like Orye in a sense to where they're the only real characters. Her, Hyde, Akatsuki if he has Vorpal. There and probably a few other characters I'm forgetting to mention. But they're probably the only rare characters that can actually combo off their light DP without any type of resources. So let's get off all guard. I do something like 3C into ADP. Do one more time. Oh my god, hold on. There we go. It's a 5B, as well as your combo and the corner carry, right? You can actually combo off of Tsurugi's ADP. I was just messing up because I was pressing 5B way too late. But this is a pretty consistent combo. So for my Tsurugi mains, you can actually combo with his light DP, or his ADP, excuse me. Like I said, BDB has Invo, his EX, basically a multi-hitting thing. Oh, my alarm. There we go. Boom, right? What else was I saying? Oh yeah, the one thing I forgot to mention is that EX 236 is plus on block. So again, for anyone that's like trying to mix someone up and you don't know what you're doing, throw out 236C, plus on block to have to hold that. That's plus 10 on block, actually. And how much is it on shield? Let me see. On the regular block, it's plus 10. On shield, let me see. Did I do it right? I mean, I'll do. On shield, still plus 10. Still really good. So again, if y'all don't know what y'all doing in terms of combos or pressuring, for all J2C or 236C in the middle of your block string, reset your pressure, right? Pretty cool. The other specials that Tsurugi has is his command throw, which is 214. People that are watching this specific part of the video, let me stress to y'all why 214 is such a goated ass special move for Tsurugi. Again, like I said earlier with his normals, ideally what you want to do with Tsurugi is hit confirm into 214 because it's probably the easiest combo route that you can do. So if I'm here and Wagner is here and I get if I connect 5C, 214 instantly. With this character, I want y'all to get into that, how should I say, I don't want to say flow chart. I want y'all to start reacting to these normals and instantly hit confirming it to 214. So 5B, 214. Or 5B, 214A. Get your easy combo. Right? 5C, 214. You're in the corner. Y'all can't see the damage because my face is covering it, but that was about 4k damage. Ideally, you want to get used to hit confirming with 214C when you're like at 5C range, right? 214B for far range and 214A for close range. And sometimes you can even do 214C, get a combo, so on and so forth, right? And for those that don't know, 214C, I think 214C actually has armor behind it too, right? So let me see. Let's put Wagner to do this, right? Oh, not that, not that, not that. There we go. Let's see. You see that? 214C has armor. So again, if someone's throwing out a projectile, if someone's doing a 236 input, 214C has armor. You can check this dumb shit. And you can do it late. Obviously, I didn't punish her, but y'all get what I mean. 214C has armor. So again, if there's a spacing or someone's throwing out a projectile, this is gonna smoke that dumb shit, right? So again, hit confirm it to 214C as much as possible when you're at 5C range. 5C range, you hit confirm with 214B. If you're in this range, just go for a regular combo. Because either way, you're still doing the same thing. Whatever's easy for y'all. But later on, get used to hit confirming with 214C. What's another special am I forgetting? I guess his IW. His IW is really damaging. Self-explanatory. Anime shit. Kind of wall bounces in front of you for a mix-up. So, really nice. I think that's all I have to cover for his specials. Right? I covered his DP. I covered 236. Covers 214. I think that's really it in terms of his special normals. But this was his specials. If y'all have any questions, please leave it in the comment section down below. But now, let me cover the most broken thing this character has, arguably, which is his forks function. Let's start it now. Okay, let's finally get into the meat and potatoes of this character's identity, his forks function. Like I said in the beginning or earlier in the video, this character is a neutral skip character and his FF enables him to skip a whole bunch of bullshit that is presented in the neutral, right? But the best thing on why I consider Tsurugi to be the best rushdown character in the game is that his FF actually has very good follow-ups that cover a lot of his weaknesses, right? Like I said earlier, what was one of his weaknesses? It was his low and the grab. Let's talk about his FF4C. This is the one I'm really going to talk about the most because I think this is probably the most important thing. His 4C basically gives him like a little fake assault, right? But I want y'all to be careful because if y'all don't space this out correctly, the first initial hit, if players shield it right, is actually punishable. Right? Or is it 2 hits? If players shield the first initial hit of Tsurugi's FF 4C, it's -19 on hit. So for my Tsurugi players watching this, please space out 4C, FF4C. Please space this out. Because now when you space it out, you can still follow up with normals. I could do J, let's say I could do J5A or JA. I could do nothing and bait out a shield, but the spacing is really thin, right? Again, really, really good. If the opponent's not shielding, right, you can actually loop them. So let's say, for example, right, you get like, actually, let me not say that now. I'm going to save that for later. Let's say, for example, right, your opponent doesn't know the matchup. He doesn't know about the 4C follow-up. You can actually do FF into 4C, charge J2C, and go into FF again. You see what I mean? If they don't shield the first initial hit of 4C, and they don't shield J2C going under, you can do FF again into another sequence. Let me see if I can showcase this to y'all. Hold on. Actually, no, I'll put her to the corner. Let me see. Oh, okay. You can chain it. It's very kind of annoying to do, but you can chain it back into it indefinitely, right? So, 4C. You can keep chaining it back if players are not blocking this. TSURUGI'S 4C is really, 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 really good. And if people do not know the matchup, there are things that you can do to just mix your opponent up crazy, right? So again, 4C is really good. And what else is 4C good at? Again, it covers one of TSURUGI'S major weaknesses, which is low attacks. So let's set Wagner to do dash C again. Backdash, dash C, right? If I go into 4C, that shit's not gonna hit me, and you can actually punish it. It covers his weakness. So you can ideally bait out someone with shield, Wagner C, a Wagner player, or someone with a low might see this. Let me do it one more time. A Wagner player might see this. I'm gonna eat their ass, respectfully. And again, since 4C has that first initial hit, it can catch people off guard like, oh my god, I didn't know. And you can follow up with another button. So again, for my TSURUGI mains, please, if you know people are going to fish for the low, use 4C. And even on whiff, you can follow up too. So don't forget that. You can whiff this and still follow up with any sort of normal, any sort of J normals. So don't forget that. Right? Now, the other option I want to talk about is his low option, which is his dash, which is his 2C, excuse me. Why is 2C so good off his forks function? I mainly use 2C to punish people using projectiles on me, right? Obviously, I'm using Wagner right now, but let me showcase this for the guide video. So let's go to Hyde, right? Hyde has orbital. So let's say Hyde does this, right? That punishes that. Well, let's just do regular orbital, right? Regular orbital. Just it has way more recovery. So he does regular orbital. Do one more time. Do one more time, Hyde. There we go. You see? It's a punish. We like using TSURUGI'S 2C slide to punish projectiles or to overall get in our opponent. Because once people familiarize themselves with the matchup, you being at this range, they have to worry about, again, J4C and 2C. And 2C has incredible range, right? Like from down here. You see how fast that is? And how far that goes? So 4C is really good at closing the distance. And if you have Vorpal, it's completely safe. and you can follow up, right? So again, let me showcase this to y'all. 4C slide on block, you can make it safe. So Tsurugi has a guaranteed way of getting in if you need to. And if you have Vorpal, you can chain shift, keep your pressure, go for your shenanigans again, right? These moves are really good for closing the gap with your opponent. So again, for my Tsurugi players, we want to use 2C to punch projectiles and overall just get in there quick if we need to. Now, if we're not worrying about neutral that much and we want to chill back, just pressing regular shield, and the other option, shield bash, right? Why do we want to use Tsurugi's shield bash or shield or FF, just regular A, right? When you're in this stance, right? This is what I want y'all to do for my Tsurugi players. I want y'all to start reacting. If y'all see this, I want y'all to start reacting to this. When you see that initial pop up in front of your shield, immediately, like off rip, 5A. Immediate 5A. So I'm gonna press hide to record. But what normal though? There we go. We're gonna go with that normal. So hide. 5A. As soon as you hear that initial snap sound, immediately 5A. 5A into 214 hit confirm. Even though I didn't do the full conversion, I want y'all to get this concept to the utmost T. When you see or you hear that initial pop, that press your A normal, right? Instantly into 214A. Every single time. Every single time. Even if you're not getting that, even if you're not getting the greatest of damage, you want to reinforce to your opponent that, okay, what you're doing, I can react to it, and now you're really having your opponent be scared of the shield mechanic, right? If that makes sense. You really want people to be afraid that you can react to a lot of shit that they're throwing at you. So again, if Hyde is doing something like, let's say for example, let's say Hyde runs up DP, right? He runs up DP. Hyde runs up DP. Let me see if well, that wasn't a good example. Let me see if I can showcase this better. Runs up DP. You can either go into slide. You can either wait until it comes down and shield bash. Certain moves or certain matchups, you want to be patient and you want to wait for the actual hit animation to be over before you actually 5A. Sometimes you can't just do it initially. You have to wait. But again, I still want to reinforce the thought of, yo, if you get hit with something, immediately just stop. You're not going to do that. I'm going to punish you every time. Right? And with the other options I just showcased with this character, you can see how annoying he can get, right? So again, if you see an initial hit, let me record again. If you see an initial hit, as long as it's not like an EX move or a DP or something with long hit stun, don't initially hit. If it's a regular normal, every time. Every time. 1, 2, 3. And again, for those that y'all can't see the damage scaling, but that was 4.3k damage. Just off of me reacting. Just no, stop, hit confirm easily into a regular bread and butter, into the corner. Now I can mix you up, right? Tsurugi's FF is this character's whole identity. This shit is ridiculous. And again, like I said, I'm gonna reiterate one more time. The options I want you new players to take away from is when you see that initial hit, press 5A or press A in general. If you see someone throwing a projectile, you want to get in, 2C. If you know someone's going to come at you with a low, 4C. And again, you can instantly get out your stance. So don't be afraid of doing this in the neutral. This should show your opponent that, yo, I don't really need to rely on this this mechanic so much to mix you up or to open you up regularly, right? I have this. I can rebeat with shield. I can jump, so on and so forth. And I think that's all I can really say about Tsurugi as a character. I guess my closing thoughts for this guide is my Tsurugi mains. Again, let me reiterate the beginning of the video. Tsurugi's force function is probably, arguably, in my opinion, top 5 best force function in the game. Arguably top 3 best force function in the game. What did I say earlier? This force function goes through hides and mids, specials, projectiles, everything in the book except for lows and grabs, right? Now this is what I want y'all players to really, your Tsurugi players to really pay attention to. Tsurugi has 4 options essentially. I want to say 5, but I'm going to say 4 realistically. When you do FF, you can do down C, which is his slide. When you do FF and you do 4C, he does a leap. When you do FF into just regular A, he does a bash, right? Ideally, what you want to do with this character, like I said earlier in the video, is get your opponent into the corner and start mixing up with his force function, right? A lot of people don't really do this with Tsurugi, but you can actually move around with him. Backdash takes a lot of grid, but his backdash is really good outside of his force function, right? So if you think players are gonna grab you, you can play a little mind game, you know, shimmy. You can actually shimmy with his FF2 because his backdash is so fast. So again, like I said earlier, what are his weaknesses? He gets countered by lows and grabs. Start shimmying with the shield. This is really, really good. And when you backdash, you're in 5C range. So for my Tsurugi players, please start doing this to people and eat their ass. Oh, you whiff grab? Now I can get a full conversion off you, which is really, really, really good. Now, the one thing I really want to stress with y'all is that you can actually rebeat with Tsurugi's shield. Lightning Heart, I don't know what a rebeat is. I got you. Let me showcase this for y'all right now. And this is something I don't see a lot of Tsurugi players doing, but I'm going to showcase this for y'all right now. A lot of people, once you start understanding Tsurugi more in depth, you canceling D by itself. Like, let me show y'all, right? I have a hitbox, a Razor Kasune. I press 2 buttons, FF, and I press D. He instantly gets out of his shield, right? Instantly. For you to throw another button. You see what I mean? You can rebeat with Tsurugi's shield. So let's say I throw out 5C. Let me get her off a shield. There we go. Let's say I throw out 5C, 2C, 5A, or pressure with. Now I can do it again, right? You want to get familiar. You want to familiarize yourself with Tsurugi's options within FF. Like I said, realistically he has 5 options in my honest opinion. Let me reiterate for it just to basically showcase what I mean, right? He has the low. He has the leap. He has the bash. He has the backdash. He also can cancel out. Utilize these options to mix up your opponent. And again, the best thing about Tsurugi's leap too is that when you leap on people, the first initial hit, you can go into it again. Right? So again, for the people that are watching this specific part of the video in terms of Tsurugi's FF, please learn how to mix with this character's FF, because his FF, again, you only have to worry about 2 options, a low and a grab. You should be very free in terms of pressuring people. Sometimes even standing in front of people's faces with FF, like just right there, just waiting for them, they can't do nothing. So again, please utilize these options. And that concludes my Tsurugi guide. I hope y'all found this video very informative. I hope it was very fun for y'all to watch. I overall want y'all to skip neutral as much as I do and have fun with this game. But again, if you like my content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Comment down below on what you think about the the god Giga Chat himself, TSURUGI. And yeah, hopefully I see y'all on the 9th and birth. I stream on Twitch. Link will be in the description below. So if y'all want to check me out and play this character in real time, follow my Twitch channel. But that being said, I hope y'all all have an amazing day and stay tuned in the next one. Take care.